Greetings and salutations, viewers. I'm StarPrincessHLC, and welcome back to what should be the last episode of Sepia Tears. We already completed the main storyline with Myra and Mark getting together, despite the fact that we learned the truth that Myra was faking to be his childhood crush the whole time. But he doesn't seem to care, so now we're actually going to get into Myra's diary, and I guess that's Myra with her natural hair color, I guess. I kind of like how it's a little bit of purple on the bottom, but I think that might be lighting. So let's get into Myra's diary and see what she has to say. Thursday, January 1st. The 1st of January. The beginning of a new year. A new chapter. There couldn't be a better time to write this entry. I have a confession to make. Multiple confessions, actually. I was Mark's classmate in junior high. Or, to be more precise, I was his secret admirer. People were a challenge for me. Mathematics, art, and athletics were easy, but people were a challenge. Fair enough, fair enough. My father, Leonard Kinsey, the man responsible for the cherry tree on the hill, has always been kind to me, but he always kept me in his shadow. Oh, so the guy who did plant the cherry tree, it was her father. That makes sense. Fame and fortune are better when they don't belong to you. Proud and confident on the outside, empty on the inside. I was a model daughter, and I was alone. Mark was different back then, back when I fell for him. And Patches is playing with my headphone wire, excuse me. Patches, come on now. He was creative, charming, always smiling, if a little awkward. He must have thought he could do anything. He clearly acted like it. He caught my eye. He'd doodle in his notebooks as the teachers droned on. I always wondered what he might be daydreaming about. Soon, my own daydreams took hold. Every day at lunch and after class, I would unconsciously, dream up scenarios that led me to him, accidentally dropping my books, helping him with an assignment, bumping into him while getting a drink at the water fountain. But they were daydreams, and daydreams never come true. So my feelings gnawed at me from the inside instead. It was like hunger. When the body doesn't get what it wants, it lets you know in the worst way possible. The heart works the same way. Eventually, I noticed a change. He started looking at a certain girl from the next class over, and it was a strange look, the same one I saw when I looked in the mirror. Naturally, I did the only thing I could do. I watched. The leaves fell to the ground and snow hid them. I watched as he talked to the girl at lunch and bumped into her in the halls. Something started dying inside me, but I couldn't understand it. Probably because he's imitating the acts that I was daydreaming about. And at the same time, something was born. I soon came to know a determination that I didn't think I had. And then I climbed Mount Ebott, and that's the end of that story. He had told her to meet him on the roof after school, and from the way he paced back and forth in class, pretending to clean and pack his bag as his eyes anxiously darted to the clock, I knew what he was going to do. So I followed him. The confession wasn't as bad as he thought it was, but through the lens of heartbreak, a paper cut becomes a knife wound. The girl was attractive, confident, popular. It was no surprise that he fell for her. As it turned out, it was no surprise to her either. She turned him down without a second thought. I still don't know what was going through her mind. Did she want to end the rejection as quickly as possible, like pulling off a band-aid? Was she so used to being adored that she lost her ability to sympathize with a broken heart? I'm not sure, but when she walked by Mark's incapacitated body, she paused for a moment, pulled the ribbon out of her hair, and wrote something. Did she always do that? Maybe she had an infinite supply of hair ribbons at home, and she distributed one to every boy she rejected. Or it was just a whim after noticing that they weren't alone and seeing my no doubt teary eyes. But yeah, that would be kind of mean if it's like she leaves rejection messages in ribbons. How rude. She simply pulled a marker out of her bag, jotted down one final message, dropped it by Mark's hands, and left. The crucial piece of information that took him 3 years to remember was that he never picked up that ribbon. I did. Time flew by after that. I moved overseas with my parents as part of a business decision, but I was glad to escape. What are you doing, Patches? I was trying to pet you, you know. And I just see Cheese being a pain in the butt again. I wasn't running away. I was angry. Angry and determined. It didn't take long. I bought new clothes, grew my hair out, got contacts, practiced smiling in front of a mirror. And every day I wore that ribbon in my hair, the memento of 2 tragic first loves. My classmates were distant from me at first, knowing that I was from a wealthy family, but I began to fit in before long. I made real friends there, and overcame my phobia of people. All that remained was overcoming my phobia of love. That was when an opportunity fell into my lap. My dad told me that we would be relocating back home, and that I could come with him or stay with my other relatives for a few years. I hesitated for a moment. I was happy, so I returned to a place that could only make me sad. But that was precisely why I had to go back. I had something to prove. I came home at the beginning of December, and I was to start attending school when the new term began. Dad allowed me to select the high school of my choice, so I did some research. And by that means I'd probably stalk this guy around and see which class I could be closest to. The excitement was building. I found out that Mark was attending a local high school with his sister and 2 friends, and that it wasn't unreasonable for me to attend as well. In the meantime, I had a month to make contact and see what I had missed out on over those 3 years. If all went well, I'd find out that Mark had gotten over his heartbreak. He'd look at me as a girl for the first time, and I'd prove to myself that I wasn't as weak as I used to be. But things never go so well. I knew he was empty from the moment I first spoke to him. But even if he didn't want to face his feelings, I could show him that love wasn't something to fear. I'd prove it to him and prove it to myself. The technical stuff was easy. There was a garden beneath a balcony on the school roof. All I had to do was slide from the balcony to the soil. I hid there for at least 10 minutes, so of course he didn't see any footprints. After that, all I had to do was make use of my surroundings. He already expected me to do the impossible, so disappearing in the forest was as simple as stepping off the path and hiding behind a tree. He knew he didn't have to search for me either, because I promised to find him. Mark saw through me. Apparently, I was surprised. I tricked him at first, but he knew that I was smiling from my heart when I found him in that park after he talked to Lillian. I was shocked when I found myself enjoying the conversation. Shocked and a little afraid. The visit to his room wasn't even part of the plan. I just wanted to see him. It was fun to tease him, to see his reactions to my silliness, and I wanted to get swept up and taken to the first place he could think of. I started to see the quirky charm buried beneath years of forced apathy. Before long, I was in love. It was terrible. I didn't want to fall for him. I just wanted to prove that I was no longer a slave to my emotions. But I ended up proving the opposite. The more I think about it, the more cruel it becomes. Am I only happy because I forced myself to change 3 years ago? My confidence started out as nothing but a lie. Is that what it takes? And what about Mark? Even after trying his hardest, he still got hurt. Both 3 years ago and now. If I had met him, would he still be avoiding love at every turn? It's horrible. No matter how much we talked, all we could come up with is that love is a horrible, horrible thing. All is fair because it doesn't play by the rules. You can fight your hardest or give up before the battle begins, and you can still win or lose. There's no structure to life. No overarching theme or black and white belief that determines who succeeds and who fails. There isn't always a lesson. Einstein was wrong. Repeating the same action over and over can grant you drastically different results, and finding a new method doesn't guarantee change. Maybe in the end, all that matters is that you don't run away. If an ideal appears before you, seize it. Make the storybook real. Alright, that was satisfying, but my head is aching and I need to get to bed. We've got a long year ahead of us, and I'm still tired from our New Year's celebration last night. Huh. So it looks like everybody was having a fun time, singing, dancing, and partying. Who's the person in the skirts? I know this is the purple hair is Myra. And I guess that's Lucas over there, and I think that might be Lillian, but I'm not sure. Oh no, that's Ren. Okay, I can see Mark in the background, kind of looking in the back, like, why am I here? I don't know why I'm here. Okay, that makes sense. For a minute, I thought it was maybe that that Mark was dressing up as a girl to sing with Myra. That'd be kind of funny, but hey, there we go. And that was the last achievement you can get in this game. So there we go. That is the end of Sepia Tears Midwinter's Reprise. Again, I already summed up my thoughts from the last episode, but just to clear up, I did really enjoy this. It was a cute little story. The characters were fun. There was a lot of fun. I think I made a few good jokes through this whole thing. The art style is cute. The music is really pleasant. The one thing, though, that does kind of irk me is the fact that for a game that's supposed to be a visual novel, where a lot of it was supposed to be centered around choice, it really felt like your choices didn't matter in the end. There wasn't like a really big branching storyline, especially towards the end, where you could choose to go to certain places to visit Myra, and in the end it took you right back to the ice rink and just waited for you to take the right path. I don't know if I approved of that. Not to mention the fact that that one bad ending just came out of nowhere for no good reason, so regardless, this was still an enjoyable little visual novel to play. I'm glad I got to play it, so congrats again to the developers for making this cute and really interesting story. I will admit, though, it is a little creepy to think that this girl went 3 years pretending to be somebody else just to attract a guy she liked when she was younger. I find that a little creepy, but on the bright side, she didn't go around murdering people, so that's a good sign. And it seems like they are willing to try and work through the relationship despite the lying at the beginning. So either way, I really enjoyed this, and I hope everybody who stuck with me through this Let's Play also enjoyed it. So yeah, it's a little sad to see it go, but you know, it was a nice, fun little romp through a very unusual romance. So I guess that's it for now. So for now, this is StarPrincessHLC saying thank you very much for watching, and have a fond farewell.